Here's 20 anthemic pandemic hits to be the soundtrack of your new normal. Now that's what I call music, COVID-19. And who could forget this classic bit of Brit Cough?
Why don't you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours? Did you go to Offspring? Well, of course. And even though we're changing society, leveling up, but you know all my friends, it's enough. When can you stop? Jobs for the boys, finding jobs for the girls, giving jobs for the boys, steal jobs for the girls. Always should be clothes you really love. So it's jobs for the boys, got a job for a girl, nice job for the boys, a shit job for the girls. Should be party donors you really love.
North, west, east and south. This musical droplet spreads from mouth to mouth.
It's the home of Adrian Mole. Stick a crisp in your cake hole. £1 an hour can't be true. All the workers go and convert on the thing to safety in an vinegar. I don't wanna be loved unless that's oh no. Shawade wade in the car park round the body. Cheese and pork pies wait for you. Football, cricket, rugby too. I don't wanna be loved unless
Loosen your border controls with this emphatic tune.
Pretty Patel, with coppers on the street. Pretty Patel, they're so scared to meet. Pretty Patel, you sound so posh that my heart sings. Apart from words that end with ing.
Sickening. Adapting. Challenging.
Now that's what I call music, COVID-19. Get it before there's a second surge.
Welcome to your CPC test, Mr. Johnson. Have you done the test before?
Well, with the last test I took, I got a very positive result.
And can I ask, why do you want to have a heavy goods vehicle licence?
I love buses. My main hobby is making model buses in between having extramarital affairs.
Okay.
And I've always thought I looked like Jack from On the Buses.
Uncanny.
I've had buses named after me. If I had £1 for every time I'd been on a bus, I'd have £350 million.
You really do love buses, don't you?
Apart from the bendy ones, obviously. So I want you to leave the depot and turn left. I'd rather turn right. Or middle of the road. That's popular, isn't it? Let's get a move on, Mr. Johnson. Now I want you to do a right turn. Okay, U-turn it is then. So how do you think that went? Too early to say? No. Okay, I could see that perhaps there were things that we could have done differently. Have I passed the test? No. QAnon for Kids, Conspiracy for Children. Helping to bring up your child the alt-right way. Hello, Tommy.
Hello.
Hello, Mary.
Hi, Mr. Q.
Let's start with maths, shall we? What's 2 plus 4, Tommy?
It's 6.
Are you sure?
Yes.
No! It's the devil's number! The favourite of Satan's new world order! Loved by the Illuminati, which must be resisted! Resist! Do your own research!
Oh, look. A family. Do you know who the adults are, Mary?
Mummy and Daddy, Mr. Q.
Do you love Mummy and Daddy, Mary?
Yes. No! Your Mummy and Daddy are part of the woke metropolitan elite. They don't even love you. They don't even love our country. They're the enemy of the people. Hate Mummy and Daddy. Do your own research.
Hey, Mickey, are you playing safely?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't run around with a pair of scissors in your hands?
No. Why not? Don't listen to the mainstream media. They want to take away your freedoms and your liberty. They'll have you wearing a mask and taking vaccines next. And don't just listen to me. Listen to this nutter and do your own research.
Here's to the person who writes the poems you hear on those TV ads you see year after year, for banks or shit food or stuff for the house, in working class accents, normally scouse, with perfect families that don't seem too real, and an annoying ukulele to give a community feel. So here's to the old, the young, the thin and the fat, and that arsehole who writes poems that makes you bite crap. Here's a list of my top 10 famous or infamous coronavirus scientists and experts. Number 10, Judy Mikovits, discredited virologist and the subject of the conspiracy video Plandemic. Not a convincing scientist in the slightest, apart from the fact that she's got the same hair as Dr. Emmett L. Brown in Back to the Future and Gene Wilder in Young Frankenstein. Number 9, Professor Neil Ferguson. He had to resign from the government advisory group SAGE after admitting meeting his lover during lockdown. As excuses go, saying you were horny is so much more believable than saying you had to go out to test your eyesight. Number 8, Dr. Jenny Harries, UK Deputy Medical Officer. In March, she advised new couples to test the strength of their relationships by moving in together during lockdown. If only Neil Ferguson had listened to that. Number 7, Professor Jonathan Van Tam, England's Deputy Medical Officer. I love this guy, mainly because he looks like a cross between Penfold from Danger Mouse and Bunsen Honeydew from The Muppets. Number 6, Baroness Dido Harding, chair of the government's Track and Trace, whose app is still not fully functioning. Not really an expert. She was head of Carphone Warehouse, which we all know hasn't sold car phones for decades and isn't in a warehouse. But as an ex-jockey, she did persuade the government to delay full lockdown for a week so the Cheltenham Festival could take place. So she's not all talk. Number 5, Ruth May, England's chief nurse. She said that she was dropped from the government briefings for refusing to defend Dominic Cummings' excuses for breaking lockdown rules. The government say that this isn't true, a denial that stinks so much that she shouldn't have just worn her scrubs to briefings but full PPE. Number 4, Dr. Catherine Calderwood. She quit as Scotland's chief medical officer after making several unscheduled trips to a second home during lockdown, which is shocking, as now she's the most famous owner of a second home in Scotland, apart from Rod Stewart and the Queen. Number 3, Professor Chris Whitty, England's chief medical officer, the monotone voice of caution cutting against the optimistic tone of government ministers.
I expect there to be significant amount of coronavirus circulating.
Like Marvin, the paranoid android from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Number 2, Sir Patrick Vallance, the government's chief scientific officer, who said on March 19th that the UK needed to get COVID-19 herd immunity, which makes him the Dr. Evil of this list. He reckoned that 40 million people needed to be infected for herd immunity to be reached. At the time of this recording, only 300,000 people have been infected. So, in an average UK herd of cows, that's less than 1/10 of a hoof. And number 1, Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the US Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases since 1984, and has fought against HIV/AIDS, Ebola, and other diseases that I can't and won't pronounce. He spent 50 years in public health and now is the target of loads and loads of conspiracy theories, to the point that he needs a security detail to protect him from the very citizens he's trying to protect. But he's the world's most famous pandemic scientist. He's like Elvis, and our UK scientists are like Cliff Richard and the Shadows.